Back when we were still changing for the better, one thing was enough. For me, it was enough to live for the hope of it all. Cancel plans just in case you call, 'cause you beat me behind the mark. So much for summer love, saying us, 'cause you weren't mine to lose. You weren't mine to lose.
Okay, so I don't want to say that much right now because I really just want to watch the movie. Welcome to part 4 of August Obsessions. Today I'm watching the Red, White, Royal Blue movie. I've been waiting for this movie for so long. I read the book a few years ago, loved it, I own it, and I know it very well. And so I can't believe it's out. I'm so excited. So I'm gonna watch it right now and let you know what I think. Oh my, I can't even.
There's a storybook ceremony today inside Westminster Abbey.
Don't speak to me at this time. So I just finished the movie. I just finished crying. Okay. I wrote notes as I was watching the movie, of like my thoughts and whatnot. So I'm gonna kind of go through those and just explain my thoughts. But actually, before I do that, I just want to say I did just write my Letterboxd review. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because it was really good. It was like really good straight up. But you know, what was I gonna say? Book adaptations are difficult because there's like so much stuff in the book that you can't exactly bring everything into the movie. And so I was like, I'm docking 1 star because they didn't include June, who, like, the scene of June or Alex coming out to June is like one of my favorites in the book, but she's not in the movie. And then also because they never said history, huh? I bet we could make some
History, huh? Bet we could make some.
I'm such an idiot. Which is like the whole like catchphrase of the book. It's like on their merch and everything. So I'm so shocked that they didn't do that. I don't know. It's pretty much the main changes that I had an issue with. So, yeah. But I'm gonna go more in depth. So basically at the beginning of the movie, Alex and Henry, they have like a little feud going on. They both mutually dislike each other. And it's like a whole thing. So first of all, I just want to say they nailed the characters. They nailed them. Like, that's like all I can say. Like, they just nailed Alex and Henry so much. It was so good. So like they go to Henry's brother's wedding, who's like the future king, and then the whole cake gate thing happens where they destroy the wedding cake, and it's like it makes national news, and then that's why they have to pretend to be friends so that they can, like, you know, damage control this whole situation. And so they have to pretend to be friends, but they hate each other, and so it's this whole thing. And then one of the things they do is they go to this children's hospital and they, you know, put in some time there. And one of the scenes, okay, the first scene that they did that I was like, oh my god, like this is actually gonna be great, is the scene in the hospital where there's like they hear what they think are gunshots. It ends up being not gunshots, but like obviously they have to like treat that as an actual threat. And so they like shove Alex and Henry in a closet, and that's where they kind of talk about like why they hate each other so much, and it's like all misunderstanding and all this stuff. And so that's like where they actually become like actually kind of friends. And I just remember that scene was so vivid in the book of them getting like thrown into the closet and being like on top of each other and having to like whatever. And it was like in the movie I was like, oh my god, it's happening. And it was so like exactly how it was in the book, and I was like, oh, it's so good. So that happened, And then so like from that point on, they're like actually kind of friends. They're like texting all the time, and dare I say one of my favorite parts of the movie, just because it was something that was so like unexpected. Because like obviously I knew the plot of the rest of the movie, but something that they did that I was not expecting at all was there's a big chunk of the book, especially in the beginning, when Alex and Henry are just becoming friends for the first time, and so they're mainly texting each other and calling each other, and that's like all they're doing, and so they're not in the same physical space. And the way that they did that, create like conceptually, was so cool. They had it like there were shots where they were like in the same room, but they were like it was like they were texting, but it was like actually both actors having a scene with each other, and so it still got it was like so genius. And so it was like it was portraying out the text or the call, but it was still like a scene with two people, so there's more like connection and emotion there rather than it just showing like a screen. But then they had like pop-ups on, they had pop-ups like in the air of like the text. Like the editing was so good, especially in that part. I ate that up. So yeah, there's that. I just really wanted to mention that. And then okay, there's a scene in the book which me and my friend Sadie love. And it's the Thanksgiving. Ew, sorry. I'm sitting on the floor and I'm so scared that there's bugs crawling on me. Anyway, there's a scene in the book which is at Thanksgiving, and it's basically, how do I say this? So there's like turkeys that the White House has for Thanksgiving, and they're supposed to stay like in a hotel somewhere. But Alex says, is he's like talking, I don't remember if he's talking to his mom or Zara. I think it's his mom. But he's like, you can't just like leave those turkeys in cages in hotel rooms overnight. Like you can't do that. And she's like, what do you want to do? Put them in your room? And so she puts the turkeys in his room. And so it's like he's on a call with Alex that night, and he's like, I have these turkeys in my room. I'm pretty sure one of them is cornbread. I'm pretty sure the other one's stuffing. I don't remember the other one's name. But and so he's like, and the turkeys are so loud and they're like distracting him, and it's just like a really iconic moment from the book that me and Sadie love. And so they did it in the movie. They did it. The cornbread was there, and I screamed. It wasn't for very long. It was just a brief little thing. Dare I say, like a little nod to the readers, and I just loved it. So that was something I want to mention. And so then Thanksgiving comes and goes, and I think it's New Year's. In the book, New Year's is a big deal. So basically, Alex on New Year's, he throws this big party at the White House. It's like this whole thing. And he invites Henry to come because it's like part of their agreement, as like because of the whole scandal thing at the very beginning. They're like, okay, this is just come to my New Year's Eve party and then like we're good. But now that they're actually friends, they're like, you know, they're kind of chill about it. And so Henry shows up at the New Year's Eve party, and it's very not his scene. He's very out of his element because everyone's like partying and stuff, and Henry's like he's like not he's not in it. And so, you know, they're like partying whatever, and then it's New Year's, like it hits midnight, and Alex starts, you know, he starts kissing people because it's midnight on New Year's Eve. And so that upsets Henry because Henry has known that he's gay, has known that he's gay since a while. And so like he kind of knew that he had a crush on Alex. Alex didn't really know that he had a crush on Henry, but like Henry kind of knew, and so he was like, oh dang, that's sad. And so he excuses himself and he goes out into the woods to mope, as you do. Not necessarily mope, more like be in his feelings. And so Alex sees him leave and he's like, what's up? And so he like goes out to the woods with Henry, and then Henry's like, do you ever wish you were some anonymous person in the world? And Alex is like, what are you talking about? And Henry's like, you're as thick as it gets. And then he kisses him, and that's kind of when everything starts. So basically, okay, so here's something I'm pretty sure it has changed from the book to the movie. In this, Alex is talking about like when him and Nora talk about it for the first time, and he tells Nora that they kissed. Nora's like, ah, yes, finally, and that's pretty much how it was in the book as well. Um, but then, so Nora's like, have you been with men before? And Alex is like, yeah, two. Which that wasn't a thing in the book. In the book, it like he didn't know that he was bisexual. So that was cool. Like he eventually figures out that he had a friend in high school who was like a little more than a friend, and he like puts that together like afterwards. But in this, he's like, oh yeah, I've been with two. And I was like, oh, so we know this. Okay, fun. So that was fun. Okay, so this is part where I want to mention June's thing. I kind of talked about it already, but like there's such a great part in the book when it's like after he comes out to Nora, he comes out to June, and it's so good. And I just miss it because June in the book is his sister. They like cut his whole sister. Like she's gone. And I understand where they're coming from. But I love June. So like what the heck? But yeah, that happens, and then whatever. And then like some time goes by, and it's basically like after the kiss, Henry's like avoiding Alex because he doesn't want to talk about it, and he doesn't really know if Alex was like into it, so he's just like scared. And so they basically don't talk to each other for like 2 months. Alex is trying to reach out, but Henry won't respond. But then they have some like dinner thing that they have to be at together, which one of my favorite parts of the book. It's so good. Basically, they're like at this dinner thing, and then just like Alex is like, I need to talk to Henry, and Amy is like, okay. And so Amy gets them in a room together, and then they like, and then they've like made up now, and they both know that they like each other, and it's all the tea. And so that's kind of where that's where it starts. Other than the first kiss, that's like where they both know they like each other. It's all the tea, and yeah. And then like Henry invites Alex to his polo match. It's all this stuff. They're like flying across the sea to come and see each other all the time. Very cute. They're like emailing, they're texting, they're everything. This whole thing happens, which I don't remember in the book, but I might just be not remembering. I don't remember the whole thing of Alex being like so heavy into like taking over Texas. I don't remember that at all. So maybe it was there and I just didn't really read it because it's like the politics side of it. I'm like, I don't really care. I don't know. But he was like on his Texas grind. He was slaying. Everyone loves him because of course they do. And then okay, I know I keep saying this, but again, one of the best scenes is the scene where let me compose my thoughts. The scene where what is it? I don't know when it is. The scene, basically Alex and Henry spend the night together. Where is it? It's not after the polo match. I don't know when it happened. But then they like wake up in the hotel together and they sleep in a little too late. And so Zara is like knocking on the door and she's like, Alex, where are you? And she like hears that there's two people in there and she's like, oh my god. And so at this point Zara doesn't know. And so they're like trying to hide Henry because they don't want Zara to know. Zara is like boss, like she's leading all of this. She is like not fooling around, and I love her. And she storms in the room and she's like, where is she? Where's the girl that's in here? Like she left her phone in here. And she's like looking around, and then she hears Henry in the closet, and she's like, there's a person in there. And so Henry comes out and she's like, Henry's in here. She takes a second to freak out about it, and then she's like, I kind of miss in the book, she was like, I assume I don't need you to sign an NDA, right? She didn't say that in the movie, but there was some really great dialogue. Zara has a really great dialogue, especially like in the movie. I was like, she's eating this up. And so that's just one of my favorites. It's so funny. And then they go to Alex's dad's house. What's that dude from the book? That dude that was like, there's a dude in the book that wasn't in the movie that I'm forget. Not Oscar. That's his dad's name, right? Luna, like something Luna. Wasn't there like another? I guess maybe it was like the Republican candidate. They just took way less focus off the other candidate in the movie. So whatever. But sorry, I got a low battery. So they're at Alex's dad's house, and then basically that's when Alex kind of is like, yo, Henry, I love you so much, and he's like really like into it. But then Henry gets kind of freaked out by that since he's the Prince of England. He can't really have a boyfriend, you know. And so he kind of freaks out, kind of flies back to England immediately without telling Alex. That makes Alex really concerned. And so basically he mopes for like a week, and then Alex is like, look, he's not responding to my calls, he's not like communicating with me in any way. I'm flying to London, as he does quite often. So he flies to London and he shows up at Kensington Palace. Girl, I don't know. The palace that Henry lives in. And basically Henry's like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? And they have this like really emotional conversation. I did cry, in case you were wondering. And it was just so cute. And so basically they make up. It's like a whole thing, but they eventually make up. And they go into a museum and they dance, and it's so cute. And then actually I think I skipped the part where Alex does come out to his mom. This is before all this though. He comes out to his mom after the whole Zara thing happens. So basically in the movie, it basically happened in the same in the book and the movie, except in the book she makes a whole PowerPoint about it, which I thought was always so cute. And there's a whole fan art of it, which is really cute. In the movie, she did make a PowerPoint presentation, but I think they did give a little nod to it because she was like, if I had time, I would have made a PowerPoint presentation, which I appreciated. But he comes out to her, and it's really sweet. Yeah. What happens after that? See, it's pretty soon after that when the leak happens. This is essentially, here's the thing. In the book, I always thought the whole, like, their emails getting leaked was so chaotic, and like it wasn't bad. I never had to complain about it, but I think there was something about just being able to like just watch it in the movie that I loved so much. Like reading it, I was just always like, I need to like see the emotions, and so I adore that scene in the movie. So, well, I mean, I get like adore is a lot because it's a very sad scene, but it's like their emails get leaked and Henry's just utterly crushed. I'm just now putting this together. In the book, the whole thing of their emails getting leaked is from Alex's point of view. I'm just putting this together. And in the movie, they didn't really show Alex's point of view. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they just like cut back to him after everything had already been leaked when he was about to call Henry for the first time. But that's really great. That's really great. Because I think there's a part of it that they're like, the majority of the people watching this movie have read the book. It's like such a popular book. And so, or at least people know what the book's about. And so I think there's something that's great about the fact that they've shown it from Henry's point of view in the movie, just because in the book, bro, I can't, there's things crawling on me. Okay, in the book, the whole thing is Alex is like, he finds out that their emails have been leaked and everything, and he's like, oh my god, no, Henry has to be like dying right now, because it's a lot more in the term of like, hello my TV, I'm using you as light queen, you can't just turn off like that. In the political side, well, I guess like really all Alex is losing by his emails being leaked is like obviously that sense of privacy, but also the election could possibly be affected by it. But his whole family and stuff supports him, whereas Henry has a lot more to lose. Like his family is very much like, because they're royals, and so they're like, we cannot, you can't be gay and be a royal, that kind of thing. And so like he emotionally is so like in tune with like, I cannot do this as a part of the royal family, and like if this gets out, it's gonna be horrible. And so his mentality in it is just like, everyone's just like, oh my god, no, Henry's definitely not okay right now. And so in the book we don't really see it from Henry's POV. We just see the call where he's like, are you okay? And Henry's like, no. But here we got to see it in Henry's POV, which I love. Yeah. And so like it kind of all happens, and but then so Alex then flies to London to meet up with Henry, just because Henry's really struggling in this time because everything was just leaked, and so now his family knows who didn't know before. So it's like the king and his brother specifically who very much did not support him. And so they, okay, Alex and Henry and B meet up with Henry's brother and Henry's grandpa, aka the king. Where is Henry's dad? He's an actor. Henry's mom, oh, they didn't talk about Henry's mom at all. Interesting. Okay, whatever. I was just putting that together. So, but it's his grandpa, the king, and his brother, who's in line for the king. And so they're like, this, we're gonna deny it, as Roderick from, I almost just said High School Musical. As Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules says, deny. That's the royal family right now. And so they deny all the allegations and stuff, but then it's like, Henry's like, I don't want you to deny it, this is me, whatever. And then they look out the window and they see that in front of Buckingham Palace there's a crowd of people who are all there with these like pride flags and everything supporting them. And it's like, this is the future, babe. Wake up, King, no, it's not Philip. King James? Yeah, King James. Wake up, mate. So yeah. That happens, and then it's election night, essentially. So Alex and Henry are like confirmed couple, they're out, all this stuff, and it's election night, and there's this really, ooh, I loved it. It was like a one shot down a hall. It was like, it was going all around the White House of election night, which I thought was so cool, because election night in the book is so like high stakes, stressful, chaotic, all this stuff. And so I think doing a one shot with that was really fun. And so it's basically Alex, Alex running around. So he's like in the room, he's watching the TVs, and they're talking about like, oh, Madame President needs to win Texas to win. And so that's like, ooh, that's scary. And so like Henry goes into his mom's office, and when he walks in on her writing her concession speech, that's like, oh, because that's like her basically being like, I think I'm gonna lose. That is so heartbreaking. And the way he just like immediately walked out and went into like a private hallway with Henry and was like, I think my mom's writing her concession speech. Crazy. And then, you know, they comfort each other, and then like as they're walking back down the hallway, everyone starts cheering and stuff, because they won the election, and that's all the tea. And so Miss Claremont, President Claremont, is now going to be running a second term. Queen, love her. And that's almost where the movie ends. Then Alex and Henry go back to the it's in Dallas, right? Dallas house? Somewhere in Texas. They go to the house, and it's just cute. And then that's the end of the movie. So I loved it. If I had to give like a full true critique of it, I think here's the thing. It felt very fast paced. It didn't necessarily feel rushed. Like, I think we had enough time. The two things that I specifically would like to have had more time with is the, like, I just stopped towards the end. I feel like it ended very quickly and abruptly, that I wish they could have gone more in depth with it, but it's like they just don't, so that's just not realistic. Obviously the book had a lot more opportunity to be way longer and really go into depth with stuff, but I think in the book there was so much more stuff when the stuff was leaked, other animals were leaked, specifically with like the public's reaction to it. I think like all the people showing up at Buckingham Palace with pride flags, that was like such a brief moment, which in the book was so much more. And like social media's reaction to it and all that kind of stuff, I thought that added so much to the book, which wasn't in the movie, which is like fine. And then also the election night, I like that in the book is so like, it's so high stakes. I know I already said that, but it's so good in the book. And in the movie I thought it was like a little bit brief. I liked that they still included like walking in on his mom writing her concession speech, and then there was that cute moment with Alex and Henry. I like that it was a one shot and all that stuff, but I wish there was more of a moment of like them sitting there and being like, oh, we're gonna lose, and then like a bit more of a dramatic moment of them finding out they won. Maybe that's just me, but yeah, I still loved the movie. I thought they did a really good job. Now all I have to ask is that they turn Ike Share Wheeler into a movie, because that's my favorite Casey McQuiston book. Red, White, and Royal Blue is a close second, but Ike Share Wheeler is really good. So I'm just saying, if you wanted to, yeah, I feel like I should get my copy of Red, White, and Royal Blue, and read some quotes. I cannot believe that they didn't include history, huh? That's like literally the catchphrase of the book. How did Prime Video not want to market off of that, profit off of that? I don't know, bro. I'm gonna get my book, I think. I'm bring it down here. Okay, I'm back and I've got my book. This is my beloved copy of Red, White, Royal Blue, which I know the first time I read the book was in 2020, and I read it because it was on YouTube for free as an audiobook, and so I was into it, and so I listened to it so fast. I listened to the audiobook in 2 days, legit. I remember it. It was so fun. This is the poem Julia wrote to me about Red, White, and Royal Blue when I lent my book to them. It's a full page. It's really gorgeous. Really gorgeous. So clearly I've got sticky notes and I've got tabs. The tabs are the more important stuff that we want to look at here. Okay, so I've tabbed the first mention of Alex seeing Henry in the book. So funny because he's like, this gorgeous man who I hate. This is definitely still in their hating each other era. I love Alex just says, I'm going to throw up on you, Alex says as soon as Henry's close enough to hear him. And then he says, hello, Alex, you look sober. Oh, that's not what oh my god. I thought this quote always said, and you don't want to go to her 4th of July party after all. But it says you do. So yeah, Casey McQuiston does not like Taylor Swift. In the movie, again, I've said that in the movie, Alex already knew that he was bisexual, but this is Alex kind of talking to Nora and being like, what do you think? Am I bisexual? I don't really know. He says, okay, so knowing me as well as you do, numbers on me being into dudes. And then Nora says, 78% probability of Latin bisexual tendencies, 100% probably that this is not a hypothetical question. Okay, and oh my god, this is my favorite quotes from the book. It wasn't in the movie, but Amy says, you're not going to kill him, are you? And Alex says, probably not. Ooh, I like this. This is included in the movie. I'm assuming this is the closet scene, right? Oh, maybe it's not. it's not the closet. Okay, this is different, but in the movie there's a scene, I'm pretty sure it was the Henry being in the closet scene, when Zara goes into the room and Alex is just like, chill, Zara, it's fine. And there's a quote here that Alex is telling Zara to chill, and it just says, Zara does not appreciate being told to chill. Okay, I was trying to, okay, yes. So in the book, there's a whole thing about Henry's sister B being addicted to cocaine. It was not in the movie, so that's okay. Not the Powder Princess. This is the scene with the June and Alex that we missed. I have it tabbed. Okay. Okay, the movie is really good, but there's so much nuance that you get in a book that you just can't get in a movie. And so, there's like this full family dinner that the Claremont Diaz's have, and it kind of blows up. And so, June, basically, Alex misses his, like, it's either lunch or dinner he planned with June, and then he doesn't show up to it, and he's like, oh my god, I forgot about that. So he goes to meet June, and he's like, June, I'm so sorry. And she says, I want you to not be mom, because, like, their mom being president and stuff doesn't necessarily show up the most. And so Alex says, okay, is that what's happening right now? And then it's basically just about, like, him keeping stuff from her and not really being real. And then she basically just blurts out that she knows that him and Henry are together. Oh, I forgot to mention with this when I was recapping the movie, but of course Henry singing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, singing I'm Gonna Make a Supersonic Woman of You. That's in the book as well, and it's so good. I love this little foreshadowing. Alex feels like someone has probably warned him about the private email servers before, but he's a little fuzzy on the details. It doesn't feel important, and then I just wrote, it should be, because their emails get leaked, and that's what causes the whole problem. Okay, in the book, here's some little inside tea behind the movie. So, in the book, it's not the king that's, like, in it, it's a queen, like, it's, like, the Queen of England. But what happened is, when they were making the movie, they were like, we don't want it to be, like, they didn't want it to seem like they were trying to diss Queen Lizzie, and so they were like, let's just change it into the King of England, so that there's no, like, people thinking that we're trying to go against the Queen or make a statement against the Queen here. So they changed it to King James rather than Queen whatever she was in this book. But then R.I.P. Queen Lizzie, as they were, like, you know, making this, Queen Lizzie passed. Love her. And so now obviously it's King Philip? Charles? Not Philip. I'm so sorry. Rest in peace, Philip. King Charles, right? Whatever, the king. And so now they have a king and we have an actual king, which wasn't supposed to happen. They were trying to, like, not draw a reference there. But okay, in the book, what I'm trying to say is it was the queen. And so Alex says, I want to see a cage match between your grandmother and this ghoul running against my mom. Which, as you can see, it's so funny. Like, the Queen of England versus the dude running against his mom. I still don't remember this man's name, but he was a big part of the book. I just do not recall. This is really cute. Alex saying he loves him for the first time. That scene was done really well in the movie, if I do admit. This is really interesting. So this is the part where everything starts to get leaked and everything crumbles down. So again, this is all from Alex's POV in the book. Just because I guess the book is in Alex's POV, so it would not make sense for it to be from Henry's POV. But I think Henry's POV is a lot. Just having only had Alex's POV, I think it's interesting to see Henry's. I wish in the scene with Alex, Henry, and Philip and James, so, like, you know, all the royals, I wish Alex had stood up for Henry the way he does in the book, just, like, a little bit. Like, I think he said something. He did say something in the movie, because he was, like, just kind of questioning him, but he does it so well in the book. This is, like, this whole section of the book around here is talking about like the public's reaction to them coming out, and it's just like so fun. And see, this is history, huh? Bet we can make some, which just was not in the movie. And so that's all I have tabbed. This is all, like, this whole section right here is all the public's reaction to them coming out, and also election night. And it just went by so fast in the movie, I wanted more of it. The book ends the same as the movie does, so that's just, I wanted to add a little bit of that as well, just to kind of add to it. But it's midnight now, and I have music to listen to. See you later. History, huh? Bet we can make some. Oh, also thanks for watching this stupid August Obsession series. 4 videos of me blabbing my mouth off about literally nothing. There's too much going on up here, truly.